Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for June the 1st. But first, a quick recap, although the day hasn't finished yet. But financially wise, it's been a disappointing day, or it probably will be anyway, even if the last one wins. The first horse, Eagle Court, back from 20s down to, I think, did it return 15 to 2? What it was, it ran a decent race, but they didn't go quick enough up front. They went really slow fractions, and it made quite a lot of ground, but it wasn't enough, and they just quickened from the front. It actually came sixth, where they paid out on the first 5, so that was the most disappointing. The second runner was Army of India. They were just the most frustrating is we waited all day for it, and he didn't go in the stores. He got withdrawn at the start, so that was disappointing. But I was right with the draw bias. If you noticed, it was middle to high numbers, and that was drawn middle to high. And then the next selection was, what was it, Find How? Something like that. It drifted from 22 to 50, so I thought, oh, here we go. Well, it actually ran a decent race. I know it didn't come in the frame, but I think it came 8th, paying first 4. It was only about 3 lengths off of 4th place, and I think it returned 50s in the end. Well, Graham Lee, in the first time visor, it was running all over him at the beginning, like travelling really well. And then it just failed to switch it quick enough. I'm disappointed with the ride more than anything else. I thought it ran a decent race, but it can't close that amount of ground up in just over a furlong. It came 8th. It was making ground at the finish. It didn't look like sneaking to a place, but granted a clearer run earlier on, I think it could have ran into a place. But anyway, still makes no difference. There's been no returns from that so far. The final one, well, I think it's got a decent chance. I'm a bit concerned that it's drifted from 6s to 9. So fingers crossed for the last one. It needs to be certainly in the first 3 throughout, but ideally I wanted to have an easy lead. But anyway, let's get on to Wednesday's selections. The first selection, this is the 50 pence each way, lucky 15 by the way. The first selection is Paddy Elliott at 6 to 1 in the 120 at Nottingham, paying 4 places instead of 3. Well, this horse was rated a lot higher than this last season. Brian Ellison has trained this for quite a while now, and it's ran okay at Nottingham in the past. It's plummeted down the handicap. It's ran a couple of decent races this season. It was disappointing last time, but I think we can forget about that, and I do think it will run a decent race. The second selection is Lady Miller at 20 to 1 in the 155 at Nottingham. This is not an extra place race. Well, Brian Meehan had a winner today, a 2-year-old winner. I think, was it called Isaac Shirley? Well, this horse has ran already, unlike a lot in this field. So I think that's certainly going to count towards it. It's got a Racing Post rating of 60. Well, that's actually okay. I'm not too worried about that. That actually gives it, in my opinion, gives it half a chance anyway. One of the more interesting things is, for such a big price, Andrea Azzini is travelling up to Nottingham for just this ride, which I think is quite interesting. And it's the form's good enough. It made its debut at Sandown. Well, generally, you don't get many bad 2-year-olds making the debut at Sandown. It came 4th of, I don't know if it's 4th of 5th, 4th of 5, 4th of 7. It ran I think it got into a little bit of trouble. It wasn't an unlucky loser. It just got a little bit of trouble and didn't really feature too much. But it was a decent run. And I think we don't know anything about half of these horses. So anything can happen. You can get some that just don't cut it when they come onto the race course. But at least we've got a little bit of form in the book. And that experience should benefit it loads. The third selection is Russian Rumour at 5 to 1 in the 230 at Nottingham. Hector Crouch comes up for, I think it's for maybe a couple of rides. He rides one for Ralph Beckett in the second race, I believe, and this is his second man. This horse has got good enough form to win this race. It's ran okay this season, and at 5-1, I think it's just got a decent chance of winning. It's not obviously clearly it's not a fancy each way price, but basically, I also think it's got a decent chance of winning. I've got question marks over the favourite. There's a few that have got all-weather form that I'm not convinced will translate into turf form. So I think there could be question marks over some of the others. And finally, Fox Hill. I've actually taken SP, or I will be taking SP, in the 3 o'clock at Nottingham, paying 4 places instead of 3. First of all, if you're looking for a cash out, take the price. Although I do think it will return bigger than the 8-1. I could be wrong. It may not. But if we have a good day, you can't cash out. Or I'm not seeing the opportunity to cash out when I've taken SP. This horse is also plummeted down the handicap. It's been with Eric Alson for quite a while now, and he's done okay with it. But it has plummeted down the handicap. It's off a real. I think it's off a very very low. Sorry, not very low. It's off. I think it's about 47, 49. It's got first time visor today. Well, looking last year, I think it was last year, the first time cheek pieces were applied to it. Previously, it had shown next to no form, similar to what form it's shown this year. But then they put first time cheek pieces on it, and it won in the first time cheek pieces. Well, the cheek pieces come off now, and it's got a first time visor on. Maybe the same thing could happen again. It could win, because sometimes these horses need like either a change of scenery or a change of headgear or something different just to spark a bit of life into it. Well, I do think this horse with a first time visor, it may hate the visor, I don't know, but you'd have thought they probably tried it at home on the gallops. But first time visor, I think it could possibly make all, because it has been running in quite decent company. So those are the selections for Wednesday, the 1st of June. What I'm thinking about doing probably midweek is only choosing 3 horses and like lifting the stakes up, but lowering the overall cost of the bet. If you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments. I know a lot of you come for lucky 15s or each way lucky 15s. I know it might not be perfect, but that's what I'm thinking of doing. So those are selections for Wednesday, the 1st of June. If you can give me a like, a comment, or a subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But Charlie Winters, the very best of luck. Over and out. Cheers, mate.